In the book The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, we understand a very important concept regarding money and personal finances. Well, imagine if a survey was conducted asking various people if they wanted to have $1 million in their account today. Most would surely answer yes, of course. However, what the author says makes a lot of sense. People say they want to be millionaires simply because they want to spend $1 million, imagining everything they can do with all that money, not necessarily having $1 million to manage. It might have been confusing initially because spending $1 million is the opposite of having $1 million. Still, as you watch this video, you will understand this fundamental idea that the author wanted to convey regarding financial education. Let's take it slow. Welcome to the Finance Mastery channel. First, leave your likes and subscribers here because today's content is good. You want to manage your money better if you're still in this video. However, let's start from the bottom, climbing step by step through what I call the phases of personal finances. Phase 1. Earning and using money the right way. Before we know how to use our money, we need to earn money. If you don't have any or only one source of income today, it's extremely important to expand this so that you earn money from various places and sources. Because it's that old story of the table with one leg and the table with four legs. If you rely on a single source of income and lose that source, you will be like the table with one leg, which, without that single leg to support it, cannot stand. Now, if you have 4 different sources of income, in other words, a table with 4 legs, and if one leg breaks, the table will still stand. A bit shaky, but it will still be a table standing. Get it? The idea is to have more sources of income, so you're not dependent on just one. And of course, the more sources of income, the better. But how do you do that? In the beginning, with money to invest or any project to create, there's little to do. It's necessary to trade time for money. That is, work for someone, earn an amount for the service provided, or work as a freelancer and get paid for each job. Well, you get it. Work to earn money, any service that requires you to be present and demands mental or physical effort. All this I've said here is called active income. However, when we have a certain income from our work, we can seek passive income, increasing our income through investments, businesses, or projects. Calm down, you will understand. Passive income is that which we earn without needing effort, without working actively. In other words, even without working for a month, you will receive. But hold on, it's more complicated. All passive income can only be built by working at some point. For example, if today you work from Monday to Friday, 8 hours a day and receive your salary, you are working to receive your active income. That is, you worked all those days to get paid at the end of the month. Now, if you, in addition to working daily, have another income from investment returns, this is passive income where you don't need to work daily to receive it at the end of the month. However, to have money to invest and be able to build this passive income over time, you need to have worked at some point in your life. However, we do not always need to invest money to generate passive income. In my case, I generated passive income with an old channel of mine, where just one video I posted in 2019 still yields about $120 per month today. This is also a kind of passive income, even if not from investments, because I don't need to do anything to receive this monthly income. I only needed to make the video once back in 2019. Now you understand what active income and passive income are. From the moment you start having an active or passive income, you must remember how you will use this earned money. And look, knowing how to use your money is perhaps more important than earning it, because money is time. Any money you earn, whether active or passive, you have to spend some time making that money at some point in your life. You, for example, may have sacrificed sleep to go to work early, missed out on seeing friends to study, or skipped watching a series to make that extra income on weekends. Notice that in the beginning, to earn money, we need to trade our time, whether you're a freelancer, a salaried worker, or even someone starting a business. So from the moment you receive the money you worked for and spend it on unnecessary things, you're wasting time. Because to improve our financial life, we need to stop thinking short-term and start thinking long-term. And this applies to many moments in our lives. Suppose we always seek immediate gratification by receiving our salary and, for example, spending it all on weekends. In that case, we will live from Monday to Friday in sadness, wanting the weekend to come soon, being happy momentarily, spending everything we worked for during the week, and then restarting week after week, spending all we receive. Besides, people often need to start using credit cards correctly, spending more than they can in a month and already entering the next month with debts, which is an even bigger financial setback. The idea here is to never spend everything you earn in a month and have a long-term vision. In other words, save time searching for immediate pleasure, but invest in something that will yield much greater fruits in the future. Well, if we have sources of income, we will have money to use. However, to use it with financial intelligence, we move to phase 2, maximize earning capacity and emergency funds. Look, understanding this simple concept changes a lot in financial life. I speak from experience, which means not only thinking as a consumer, but also as a producer. Yes, it sounds senseless, right? But the main idea here is that when we receive any money, we often think about consuming, whether products or various services. We don't have the thought of producing with that money, but of spending it. And what do I mean by producing? Well, it's using it to invest in yourself, whether learning a new language that will qualify you, whether qualifying professionally, investing in a personal project that didn't get off the ground, for example, a business investing in studies to pass a contest, and of course investing for financial independence. These are just a few examples. You will adapt them to your own life. But the main idea here is not to use money just for expenses, but as a resource that can help you evolve professionally and financially. This is the difference between having a producer mentality and a consumer mentality. With $1,000 in hand, the consumer already thinks about what to spend it on, what clothes to buy, and what parties to go to, among other things. With $1,000 in hand, the producer thinks about how to use it in the best way possible to yield that money. In the case of this channel, I am always buying various courses and researching a lot about financial education to improve the videos more and more, and consequently increase the return. The main idea is that besides having our sources of income, we are always looking to increase our earning capacity, whether by investing money or investing time, studying a new business project, studying for a contest, or anything that increases our earning capacity, because by doing this, we will earn more and save more money to invest. Another thing is that we don't need to live counting every penny to save. What we need is to make conscious choices. Of course, we can go out on weekends, for example, but it's good to understand your real situation at the moment and see if it's not more advantageous to apply that money to something that will give you more return in the future. It's always good to reflect on this when spending on frivolities. But of course, we can't deprive ourselves of everything. It's all about balance. So when you start having an income and already have this mindset of not spending everything you earn, you can start setting aside a portion to invest in your emergency fund, which will be essential to achieve some financial tranquility and of course not suffer anymore. Many people neglect this emergency fund, but it is very important for the financial life of anyone at all. You should have 6 months of your monthly living expenses in this fund. If you spend $3,000 a month, you should have $18,000 invested in the fund to be in financial balance. This fund will serve as support in crises. In other words, for any unforeseen event, you will be able to use this money instead of resorting to loans. But remember, this money is only for real emergencies and not for shopping sprees, for example. I will leave a complete video about the emergency fund up here. Phase 3, invest in retirement. Now being debt-free with several sources of income and an emergency fund formed, you're already in a financial phase that few reach. If you stopped working, how long would you live with the money you have today? Well, if you had an emergency fund of 6 months, you would have 6 months living only with this money until you find another source of income. This is the measure of wealth, so talked about in personal finance books, which in this case, the measure is according to your assets, or rather net worth, which is how much money you have minus your debts. If you depend only on your job income and your standard of living is $3,000 if you get fired, having $9,000 in reserve, you have 3 months to live with that money until you find a new source of income. Now, someone who has $1 million invested, yielding 1% a month and has a standard of living of $10,000, for example, has achieved famous financial independence, in which they don't need to work anymore because the money will be working for them month after month. Of course, this is if they maintain a standard of living of $10,000 a month. They will get poorer if they start withdrawing money from the investment and spending more. For example, $50,000 or $100,000 a month. This is the difference between having $1 million and investing and having $1 million with the main objective of spending. This was the example from the beginning of the video about money for investing, not only as an instrument for buying things. Of course, money also serves for us to spend, but with awareness. Because investing is completely different from just saving money. By investing, we are making money work for us, because from that invested money, we will have returns which, over time and with compound interest acting day by day, your money will yield on the previous yield and so on, creating a snowball of investments. And of course, this is if you don't spend your returns. So, for all the returns you receive, you will reinvest until you form this snowball. So we do not need to seem rich by wearing expensive clothes and brand new cars, but to qualify we need to have a high monthly income and invest part of this money. With the fund formed, you can start studying investments, focusing on financial independence, such as investing in stocks and real estate funds. It is very important to study this topic, because learning to invest is learning how to make money work for you, that is, passive income. Here on the channel is a video that talks more about these investments. I will leave it up here. But now, besides what I've said here, it's also very good to do something I mentioned in an old video about the 90-day rule. See your assets today and note them down, doing this every 90 days. I highly recommend it. This way you can see your progress and where you started. You will note down everything you have in your account today, plus the emergency fund and investments, and subtract all that you owe, whether it's the credit card bill or loans. Doing this will show how your assets grow as time goes by. And I started in the negative, that's why it's cool to see, to give you an idea that you are progressing, especially when you look at your net worth 9 months ago. And of course, it's not just about noting it down. You have to be consistent, working, increasing your sources of income, earning capacity and investing every month.